Hello guys, welcome back to Comic Book Cafe, and today we are reviewing StarLord and Kitty Pryde, issue number 1, Secret Wars Battleworld tie-in. Okay, this is a rather interesting series because we haven't set in place a StarLord from the old universe, a guy who remembers the Marvel Universe before it was blown up, patched back together by Doom, and now Battleworld exists, and obviously Doom is God. Dr. Doom is considered God among everybody, at least in their opinions, he's God. And we have Kitty Pryde, who is from this reality, or only remembers this reality. She doesn't remember anything else, so she's completely immersed, doesn't have any, nothing's broken her belief or truth in it or anything. This is reality. So we start off with StarLord. Start off finding him singing in a lounge. Told him not to laugh at him. The artwork is amazing in this book. For those who don't know, the writer is Sam Humphries, and the artist is, Altai Firamsyah? Firmansyah. Beautiful artwork in this book. I almost call it a cross between manga and cartoony in a way. It is that awesome artwork. So, we see StarLord all dressed up, singing, and he's like, "Don't laugh, but I'm a singer." And so what's interesting is, so he's a non-singer trying to disguise who he is, because he got lost from Reed Richards, and he retells the story real quick how Reed Richards built the life raft, and they all got on it and survived the ending of the world, and then they came to the new world, Doom's Battleworld. But he got lost from them, and he knows he's being tracked down and wanted by Doom's people, because he knows they're not from this world. So he's hiding. He goes to the lounge. What's funny is, so he sings in the lounge, and all these women love him, of course. And he's like, want to buy a drink? He's like, no, I always drink alone. And he's sitting out, at the very top of the club, and he's sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, come to another club," who is none other than Drax the Destroyer, which he knows from the old world. And what's funny about that, sorry, my computer keeps going off. What's funny about that is Drax has like a full big 50s style hairdo, big old 50s style hairdo. He's got that, and he's kind of a slick kind of guy. And he calls StarLord Stevie Rogers because StarLord had to find an alias. Obviously couldn't go by Peter Quinn. So the first thing popped in his mind was Captain America. And he's thinking to himself about it. And he goes, "Sorry, Cap," in his head, because he picked that name. But, even Drax makes a comment about how he's met another, Rogers in another part of Battleworld, and how they're totally different. So, and obviously Drax understands he's the moneymaker, and he told Drax, he told him, "The one I know doesn't have any hair," and he just laughs at him when he says it. So we see some banter between them, the reality's still mixing and separate. But so he's getting ready for his next set, and he's on stage singing, and then we cut to Kitty Pryde, and she's meeting someone about Anomaly, and finds out she's meeting none other than Gambit, the Collector, as they call him. So her and Gambit sit down. She's all in a dress. He's all dressed up. And he gives her the hair of Anomaly, and she scans it, and it's unknown origin. And here's where we tie into the X books of the past. So what he wanted for this was 3 knives made out of Longshot's bones, because he wants Longshot's luck, right? Longshot's known for his luck ability. So those are the bones he has, knives he has, made by Doom's master builders, weapon builders. And so just as it looks like the trade's kind of going to happen, they're banging back and forth, StarLord notices him there, notices Kitty Pryde, of course, who he was in love with from the old Marvel world, and he's stunned, and then he jumps off stage to her, and down where they are, and they're talking, and then all of a sudden, he says her name. He walks up, says her name, and Gambit's like, "What's going on here? Are you trying to undermine me? You trying to cross me?" And she's like, "No, I don't even know him." And things get out of control rather quickly. I did set up one thing wrong, and this is with the shocker Kitty Pryde in this reality, is Gambit grabs her hand, and I guess she didn't like it, and she sticks her, and she has 2 enderman claws that Wolverine has, right? The claws, 2 bone claws that come up like that in his face. So you see that in the comic. You see that. So she has that. So though I'm sure they'll explain why she has that later. And so Gambit, kind of freaks out when when he shows up, and he uses his ability on the bottle of wine, and uses it. And Drax gets mad. He's like, "No, you're not going to do something in my club." And Drax and him kind of fight for a little bit. Ultimately, he gets in the upper hand. He gets away with the knives. So Gambit gets away with the knives. She's like, he's getting away. He got away with the knives, and he grabs her. StarLord. They're looking eye to eye, and she's like, suddenly becomes speechless, and he kisses her, and then she, decks him. And then when she decks him, he bleeds, and it lands right on her scanner, and it shows unknown origin. She's like, "Oh, look, my luck! Another anomaly, a living anomaly. You're coming with me to Doom's world." So wherever the Doom's place is called, I forget. But so that's how the book ends. Again, easily a book you can get into because you don't need to know any of the Secret Wars stuff to read it. If you take it on its own, it's a good little book, a nice little contained story. You'd have cues of characters Gambit from the X-Men, because Kitty Pryde's from the X-Men, and of course, I wish my computer would quit going off constantly. And of course, Drax the Destroyer, who's of course part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, who StarLord was. And you see StarLord struggling with knowing the old world and adjusting to the new world, and knowing Doom is not a good guy, And you see, he loves Kitty Pryde, and where is this going to go, right? Even though she's speechless when he looks into her eyes, again, this is not the Kitty he was in love with the old world. Where do we go from there? And my question's always been with this, with all these crossovers and stuff they're doing, like, how much of this stuff is going to cross over to the books when the Secret Wars is over and they relaunch the whole universe? Like, how is this all going to affect everything? Some of these I wonder, are they just a temporary thing that we're going to go back to the old way when it's over or not? Like, is this Kitty Pryde going to be the one StarLord knows when when the world ends? But again, a great first issue, and the fact you're just setting everything up. Like, here's the guy from the old universe, here's the Kitty Pryde from this one. They meet each other, and there you go. This is not a book where they don't, they're both in a book, but they don't ever see each other. So, what do you guys think of StarLord and Kitty Pryde #1? Did you like it? Not like it? It was, in a sense, kind of a weird love story, but not totally a love story book. So, again, I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the art immensely in this book. I like that style of art. Overall, I liked it in general. It was a good first issue. Kind of setting up, she's this, here's him doing this, and where are they going to go forward? Anyway, love to hear your guys' opinions like always, and I'll make another video soon. Later.